So today she's giving DIY Starbucks. I have these spanakoppitas. They're a traditional Greek-style phyllo pastry hors d'oeuvre, and they have spinach with feta, ricotta, and parmesan. For me, it gives that spinach, feta, egg, and cheese wrap vibe that they have at Starbucks. These are a lot better because I love the crunch and texture of the pastries. The air fryer has just preheated, so I'm going to drop these in and come back with the rest of the vibes. This pan is already hot, so I'm just gonna drop it on here, and I thought I would quickly show you what they look like before. So they're frozen. They look like this. Just a nice light pastry for now, because I don't want to do too much. And then I'll come back and show you the aftermath. And sometimes I spray a little bit of this. It is olive oil spray, just to give it a little bit more flavor. It really doesn't do too much. Some cheese. This is 4 cheese. We have cheddar, Monterey Jack with jalapenos, Asiago, and Parmesan. And then it says to add milk. So this is actually evaporated milk. I don't drink cow's milk, so I typically don't have it on deck. Only really if I'm using it in recipes. And I usually try to keep a can of evaporated milk for this purpose. And then we're going to crack some eggs. Add a little bit of salt. Then add a little bit of, I prefer this fresh ground pepper. A little bit more salt. We'll do just a little. I just don't want it to be too salty. And that's the spanakopita. We'll allow that to cool down. So let's mix this up. Oh, I'm going to add this to it. I think I should have halved that milk between the eggs, so at this point I'm just going to add the other 2 eggs. And we're going to do whole eggs, not egg whites. And this should last a little bit, I don't know, like a couple days or so in your fridge. You also have the option to freeze them. So the next thing I'm going to do is fill in the cavities. But I'm going to start with the cheese on the bottom. Just sprinkle that in. I don't know, I'm just winging it. This is the first time I'm doing this. And with these fillings, you can add whatever you want to them, whatever your preference is. Add more protein, and then you know what, honestly, I'm gonna go in with a little bit more black pepper. And now for the egg mixture, I'm thinking to pour it in. I just don't think that's gonna work for me. Let's try it out. Let's start in the middle. Okay, not so bad. Oh, because you're not supposed to fill it up all the way. So I'm going to end up spreading it out, or maybe just making more eggs. I think they're still a little too full. So I'll grab a spoon and transfer that. And it seems like it's like averaging 1 egg per cavity. So I'll just go in with another 2 eggs off camera and pop them in the oven and show you the end results. Okay, I'm going to fix that up, and then after these messages we'll be right back. And that's okay, it's trial and error. We'll see how it comes out, but let me add those other 2 eggs and done. So this is what the spanakoppitas look like fresh off the press. Phyllo pastry is super delicate, so you can see it crumbling here. It's the same phyllo pastry that you would see in the Dubai chocolate, but this is just in its like full form, in like they formed it from the sheets, whereas the chocolate it's shredded. And now for today's drink, we're gonna try out a gingerbread oat chai tea latte. So we're gonna start with the gingerbread syrup. So that was 2 tablespoons of gingerbread syrup, and now we're gonna go in with the Tazo chai latte and pour about half a cup. I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. This cup actually has like the Starbucks lines in it, so I'm just gonna try to go by that. And instead of oat milk, I'm gonna use this oat nog. So it is just an oat milk substitute. It's like a holiday limited edition drink that Earth's Own comes out with. I'm trying to see where the details are in terms of ingredients. They just add like nutmeg and cinnamon and that type of stuff in it to make it spiced and seasonal. But for yourself, if you want to make this at home, you can just use regular oat milk or vanilla flavored, whatever is your pleasure. So we're just gonna match that energy really. It's so hard to do this on camera, but we're gonna match that energy against the chai latte concentrate. And then stir. You can already see how like rich and creamy that is. And that's also due to the oat nog. I find it to be a lot more richer and thicker than the regular oat milk. We're gonna fill this up with ice. For this step, I'm gonna use my frother. And first I'm gonna go in with the whipped cream or heavy cream. And then just a little touch of this, which is also a seasonal flavor. It is maple brown sugar. So for this, we're doing 3 tablespoons. Then I'm going to add a little bit of this, maybe 2 tablespoons. And then with the flavoring in the silk creamer, we don't have to add any syrup, but this is the step where you would add in your vanilla syrup. And with like 1 tablespoon. But for this, we're gonna close it up. And then this has a couple settings. So we're gonna go here. And we're just gonna pour that right over top of this. Look at how rich that is. And then if you want to do the most, here's where you can add your decoration. Actually, this recipe is topped off with pumpkin spice, so I'm just gonna add my pumpkin pie spice here. And that's it, those are the vibes. Our egg bites are finished and cooled, and they look really good. At first I was a little bit worried because I think for the ones that have the milk, when they were in the oven, they were like puffing up over the cavity, but I like it. So let's add them to our plate with our spanakopita pita. And then which ones? I think these were the ones. I ended up adding 2 more, and I decided to go with no milk for those just to see if I like them any different from the others. They're probably these ones. You see how you can kind of tell the difference because of the lactose intolerance. If I can go without, then that's ideal. But let's plate these. And like, I think that's pretty on point. I'll just go with one of these ones so I can compare. And you have your egg bites, you have your spinach and feta spanakopita pita, and then you finished it off with your drink. Cheers. Here's a better close-up. This is what the inside of the spanakopita pita looks like for those who are unfamiliar. If it would focus. So anyways, it's just spinach and feta. And then as far as the egg bites, they're pretty good. Sorry, I'm eating. They're pretty good. And then my drink is just everything. So good. I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, yeah.